20-year-old young Muslim man, Farhan lives in New York as a BS English student. His life is pretty simple. His days consist of attending lectures, remembering Allah, and trying to maintain his grades among the top students in his class. He's always found comfort in the routine of academic life, but everything changes during that semester's examination period. As he pulls out his notes for a final review, his pen slips from his fingers and rolls near Fatima's chair. Before he can react, Fatima notices the pen. She picks it up gracefully and turns toward him with a gentle smile. "Here's your pen, brother," she says, her voice carrying a warmth he hasn't experienced before. Farhan finds himself unable to look away. Despite his best efforts, he stares at her, struck by the genuine kindness in her gesture. It isn't just the act of returning the pen, it's the respectful way she does it. No girl has ever shown him such genuine respect before. Something about this simple interaction creates an instant connection in his mind. Her kindness leaves an impression he can't shake off. Throughout the exam, his focus keeps scattering. While trying to concentrate on the questions before him, his thoughts repeatedly drift back to that moment. The rest of the exam passes in a blur, his mind constantly replaying that brief interaction. After leaving the examination hall, he doesn't try to justify his actions or blame Fatima for his wandering gaze. Instead, he takes responsibility for his reaction. "It is my fault. Clearly, I should have lowered my gaze," he admits to himself and makes sincere tawbah to Allah for his sin. He promises himself to be more mindful in the future. But fate has other plans. During the next examination, their seating arrangement remains the same. This time, Fatima turns around with a question that seems innocent enough. "Brother, do you know what the course code is?" "No, I don't know," Farhan replies abruptly, trying to maintain his distance. "By the way, how is your preparation, brother?" "It's okay, I guess," he says in a shy manner. But as soon as the words leave his mouth, his mind begins to race with possibilities. Does she like me? Why did she smile at me? He replays the interaction countless times in his head, analyzing every detail. I must have hurt her feelings. She asked about the course code. Maybe she was trying to connect with me. I should have asked her about her preparation. The torment of these thoughts follows him home that day. He finds himself unable to focus on his studies, instead spending hours imagining alternative scenarios, versions where he responds differently, more kindly, more engagingly. Each imagined version of the interaction ends with Fatima being impressed by his wisdom or charmed by his personality. The situation reaches a turning point during their last exam of the semester. As they sit in their usual spots, Fatima suddenly slides her paper toward him, pointing to a question she hasn't been able to solve. Farhan has already completed that section, and when he shows her his paper, she quickly glances at it. The moment is brief. She just needs to see which question he has attempted, but it feels significant to Farhan. After finishing early, he goes outside to discuss the exam with his friend. His heart nearly stops when Fatima approaches him, holding out his forgotten pen. "Thank you so much for cooperating with us," she says with a smile that will replay in his mind for weeks to come. The new semester brings new challenges, but Farhan's focus has shifted entirely. The once studious young man finds himself struggling to... Farhan struggles to concentrate during lectures. His eyes are constantly drawn to Fatima's seat. He develops an elaborate system of subtle glances, trying to catch moments when she might look his way. When their eyes meet, even briefly, his heart soars. But when she seems occupied with her friends or studies, showing no awareness of his presence, his mood plummets into depths of despair. Being one of the most intelligent students in class, Fatima becomes his perfect excuse for interaction. He approaches her with questions about coursework, even though he often already knows the answers. He notices how she becomes slightly nervous around him, different from her usual confident demeanor with other students. This detail feeds his growing obsession, leading him to believe there might be something special about their connection. His nights become endless sessions of research. He watches hundreds of videos analyzing signs a girl likes you, taking mental notes of every detail. His browser history fills with articles about what women find attractive in men, and he studies them as diligently as his course materials. Their daily conversations about studies become the focal point of his existence, while Fatima maintains her usual cheerful demeanor, enthusiastically discussing literature and sharing notes with classmates. Farhan finds himself sinking deeper into an emotional abyss. His obsession grows until thoughts of her consume every waking moment, and even his dreams are filled with her presence. He begins having elaborate daydreams about giving impressive presentations in class, hoping to impress her. Sad music makes him cry for her. He rehearses potential conversations in his mind, crafting perfect responses to imagined questions. Sometimes, he spends hours planning coincidental meetings in the library or cafeteria, only to lose courage at the last moment. The constant emotional roller coaster begins to affect his health. His sleep becomes irregular. His appetite diminishes, and his once excellent grades start to slip. The pressure of his unspoken feelings builds up until he feels he will burst if he doesn't take action. Finally, gathering every ounce of courage he possesses, he approaches her one day after class. His heart pounds so loudly he is sure she can hear it. "Sister, would you mind giving me your phone number? Just for study purposes, really? Can't we just—" Her hesitation makes his heart sink to his shoes. He quickly retreats. "Oh, sorry. If you don't want to, it's fine," he mutters, feeling his carefully built world of hopes beginning to crumble. But then, she surprises him. "No, no, no, I was kidding. I will give you," she replies with a giggly face that rekindles all his hopes. She writes her number on a piece of paper, and Farhan feels as if he has been given a precious treasure. Racing home, he saves her number on WhatsApp with trembling fingers. They exchange a few messages about coursework, each response from her sending his heart into a flutter. But his elation is short-lived. As he scrolls through her status updates, his world comes crashing down. Her profile is filled with heart emojis and passionate declarations of love, not for him, but for the top K-pop idol, Hing Hing. "Hing Hing, my love," her statuses proclaim, each word feeling like a dagger to his heart. Reality begins to seep through the cracks of his carefully constructed fantasy. "I thought she only loved me. I thought I was her only priority." All the signs he had chosen to ignore now seem glaringly obvious. He remembers how she is naturally confident and charming with males, not just him. Her helpful nature and friendly demeanor aren't special signals. They're just part of who she is. Farhan was trying to fill his inner emptiness with her. It was he who emotionally invested himself in her. He was assuming too much. The final blow comes in the following days, as he observes her interactions with senior boys. Each flirtatious conversation he witnesses feels like a personal betrayal, though he has no right to feel betrayed. His emotional turmoil leads him to seek answers online, where he discovers terms that help him understand his experience. Limerence. anxious attachment style. As he reads about these concepts, Allah opens doors for him. What he has been experiencing isn't love, but limerence, an intense, obsessive infatuation caused by uncertainty, his constant fear of losing her, his overwhelming need for reciprocation, and his tendency to read deep meaning into casual interactions, all point to an anxious attachment style, likely developed from inconsistent emotional support in his childhood. His desire for her was based on uncertainty about her feelings. But as soon as he realizes that Fatima's feelings aren't as intense as he imagined, and that there's nothing serious going on, the attachment breaks. He learns a valuable lesson. What seems like love at first might actually be Shaytan using uncertainty to distract him from the Sirat al-Mustaqim. The story of his first crush becomes a reminder of how Shaytan can quickly make you obsessed with someone. And let's admit, we all go through that at some stage of our lives. Maybe Farhan just wanted someone to like him and obsess over him the way he was obsessing over Fatima. But unfortunately, that is not achieved by showing your feelings. Rather, it is done by prioritizing your mission in life. You should be able to look at a person for who they really are, not your fantasized version of them. So, protect yourself. Don't invest in anyone emotionally too quickly. And if you have already invested in someone emotionally, stop thinking about them whenever you're tempted to. Do this every day, and it will become easier, because neediness makes you unattractive. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, because when you do, I get a dopamine hit, and it encourages me to make more videos for you. By the way, thank you guys for all the support. You guys are awesome. Take care, and see you in the next video. Salam.